Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And I'm going to begin by jumping on in without the podium. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, you've probably heard many times the phrase, you only live once. Well, we truly only live once, unless you believe in the afterlife and those sort of things, which most of us do. I've tried to live my life by that for the past couple of years, and really have tried to push the boundaries of what I've been doing and conquer fears through numerous different experiences. What I'd like to talk to you a little bit about today is to really persuade you all and inspire you to push yourself, try new things, something that Matt was talking about before. New experiences is something he's really keen on. And don't let fear conquer you when you're considering not only your personal life, but also your professional. Now, I'm no Hercules. I'm scared of lots of things. I am scared of heights, for example. I refuse to go skydiving, cliff jumping, anything like that. And I'll talk a little bit more about how I've worked on that. I'm scared of things like snakes, crocodiles. I mean, who loves those sort of animals? Those are animals that, in my opinion, it would be very difficult to love. But I'm also scared of failure. So throughout my sales career in software and also in account management, which I was in before, I was very scared of failing, which really drives me and gets me to work harder, which can in turn make my wife a little upset sometimes, because I work too hard sometimes. And it's something that I've really been tasked with from day one, is to not fail, because my family moved from Peru to the United States. They'd sacrificed so much for my sister and I don't want to let them down. I don't want to be some bum sitting around, and my dad's working his butt off to get us, to a better place. So some of the things that I've recently done over the past year to push myself and conquer new fears have been really interesting, and I'll get to those in a minute. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about an experience I had while I was in Peru, visiting my family a couple years ago, surrounding piranhas and a small pond. That really got me going in this fear-conquering stage. So picture this. I was at my grandma's farm in the jungle of Peru, which is like 13 hours from civilization, via truck. And my uncle was there, my cousins were there, and they decided they want to go fishing out of a man-made pond, which we have, we call it a poza, in there in Peru. Well, I didn't know that this pond had these large piranha-looking fish, probably about this big, and they had teeth like humans. They weren't like very vicious like piranhas. Piranhas are normally about this big. These fish were a lot bigger, maybe not as sharp of teeth, but they're still pretty scary looking, and they are in the same family as piranhas. Well, they wanted to go fishing, and the only way to get these fish out is to cast a net all the way across this small pond, and you have to be in there with them. So there were 4 of us. I didn't get in the middle of the pond, but I got about this far into the water. But I could just remember when I was walking up and I had shorts on and I had Crocs on. It was not the ideal sort of clothing to conquer such an experience. I was frightened. I couldn't believe I was about to do this. It was either let my uncle and my cousins laugh at me as I ran back to cry into my grandma's arms, or get it done. And I got it done. And it was terrifying. The grass was up to here. The water was up to my knees. I couldn't see anything. We got them out. The guys that were actually in the water were getting punched in the gut by these fish that were trying to get out of the net. It was crazy. But I couldn't believe afterwards that I had done something like that when I was super scared walking up to see what we were about to accomplish. Now, luckily for me, over the past year, my wife has actually put together a pretty cool birthday present, something that I've really enjoyed so far. I turned 30 last year, and my wife put together 30 new experiences for 30 years. Now, what that means is I've done 30 new things from hot yoga to rock climbing to flying an airplane, which I recently did and I was terrified of, especially being the fact that I could jerk and go down all the way to the ground. I've also done things recently like playing bubble soccer, as weird as that is. I've done things like doing indoor skydiving, which I mentioned before was a fear of mine. Even when I walked up to the skydiving rink, I guess you could call it, and looked down at the 40-foot drop, even though there's a tiny net right below you, I was scared. It's like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to fly up in the air and then come all the way back down with just a little contortion of my body? Things like that really push you to conquer your fears and think outside of what you normally thought you could do. I know everyone here probably has resolutions, things like losing weight, like being a better husband, better wife, better boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your situation is. But as you're looking to move into the future, both professionally and personally, I encourage you to push the boundaries. Think outside of what you're currently doing today, and look to not let fear conquer you, not just personally, but also professionally. Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Eric. I learned a lot from that one as well. Great. Well, now I would like a time report.